Hello, I'm Bjorn, your movie archaeologist, and welcome to the Temple of Movie Reviews. Today we've stumbled upon a gold-plated artifact. Look at that, guys. Oh my god, it's John Wick Chapter 4, and it's the first good movie. I finally saw a good movie in an advanced screening. Woo! I've got a smile on my face because this movie, it puts a smile on your face, man. I cannot gush about this flick enough. Alright, where do I start? This is going to be spoiler-free for the most part. I might do a small spoiler section near the end of the movie. And you should actually be very careful about spoilers for this movie. It actually goes in some interesting directions, which is going to lead me to my first positive with this movie. The characters and the plot is actually pretty good. Now, John Wick isn't necessarily known for its plot or characters. It's a franchise known for killing people and, shooting people and stabbing people with knives, arching people with bow and arrows, throwing knives, hatchets, axes, swords, lots of swords, a lot of swords, more guns, shotguns, rifles. Really, this is a franchise where you watch John Wick dispatch people with various weapons and smile while doing it. And, this movie does that. I think this movie has the highest body count of any of these, if I had to guess. It has the best action sequences I maybe have ever seen in a movie ever. Specifically, there's this action sequence involving a road, and that's the deepest I'll go into it, that, dropped my jaw, and I thought, well, that's it. That's the best action sequence in this movie. There's quite literally no way you can top that. And then there's a sequence that's entirely one take shot like it's a top-down video game. And that scene topped the previous one, I think, which was saying something, because again, the previous scene was maybe the best action scene I'd ever seen. So then this new scene became the best action sequence I've ever seen. And then the scene after it was almost as good. And the scene in the beginning of the movie was almost every single thing in this movie is just awesome. Distilled, pure awesome. I can't describe it any other way. The action sequences were fantastic. The character work, as I mentioned before, was really good. They had new characters, basically. John Wick, a few returning characters and some new characters. And it's awesome. They're really in-depth. They all have characters. They all have motivations that are interesting, so they become in conflict with each other in one scene, or they're helping each other in another scene. There's 4 antagonists in this movie, but it isn't a clusterfuck. It's actually really interesting. Much like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which I think this movie is unironically comparable to Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Why it's like Puss in Boots is you've got your hero who's a badass who's, sort of on his way out, right? John Wick has had the shit beaten out of him. He's old guard. Puss in Boots is the same way in that movie. And he encounters a variety of villains, like a comically evil guy, people who are just in it for themselves, and this badass killing machine. And there's each of these characters. You've got your badass killing machine, Johnny Yen. I think it was Johnny Yen. It was Donnie Yen, I'm pretty sure. Playing this blind guy again. But this time he's a fucking badass. Oh my god. All of my favorite action sequences maybe involve this character. They're not very long, so I can't say they're the best in the movie, but they're really, really impactful. I'll put it that way. You've got this guy called Nobody who's got a dog and a repeating rifle who's trying to get John Wick's bounty to go up so he can make more money for killing him. And another villain who I won't spoil who it is because he's I think he's in the trailers briefly, played by Bill Skarsgård, but he's great. They're all great. The whole movie is amazing. I cannot gush about this flick enough. It has consequences. There's stakes that are actually high and paid off. This movie it's awesome. I just genuinely love this. This is maybe my favorite movie of the year. I think, Everything Everywhere All at Once came out last year. The Whale was good, but not this good, in my opinion. It's not, tailored to me, right? This is a movie that's, literally made for me. Yeah, I think I can say this is my favorite movie of the year so far. I don't think it's going to be really hard to top this. The only thing I'm even thinking could maybe top this, unless I'm surprised, Guardians 3 or Dune 2. Dune 2 might do it. I love the Dune books. Yeah, this was just good. Genuinely good. John Wick, the character, is actually his most interesting here. There's a lot of grappling with the morality of the character and the sort of motivations that make someone like John Wick tick. Uh, I mean, it's amazing. I will talk briefly about my theater experience. I always try to talk about something wacky that happens in my theater. They lined us up outside to get into the movie before we were allowed in. This is pretty typical. I showed up like 2 hours early to get into the screening. And while we were standing in line, some guy mooned us, showed his full ass hanging out a window, and that was kind of cool. I can safely say that was the only ass I saw this screening because this movie was awesome. As I said before. Yeah, I'm going to give John Wick 9.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And that might not be the review everyone would give it, but I'm an action man. I didn't even talk about the cinematography. The cinematography is gorgeous. The set design, gorgeous. Whoever did the lighting, like, deserves an award. It was, like, that good. Like, every shot was gorgeous. The movie has almost a Western feel to it, but at the same time, it sticks to the John Wick thing. It reminded me of, like... There were sequences in it and just the way things played out that sort of reminded me almost of like Once Upon a Time in the West. I don't know if it was more the feeling or just the way the characters were. I genuinely loved it. So now I'm doing a spoiler section. The movie does not come out in 2 weeks, so far this is just for the people who were lucky enough to see an advanced screening. If you have not seen the movie and you have even the slightest bit of interest, there's some big spoilers, so actually don't watch this. Do not do this. I'm warning you, yeah, you mangy guy. Stop watching if you haven't seen the movie. Alright, they're gone. So, here's our artifact again. It's John Wick 4. The one where John Wick dies at the end. I did not see that coming. And I didn't watch, if there was an after credit scene, I didn't see it. I had to go to get my phone, because they had my phone. I had to give it up to go into the movie. So I'm aware there's an after credit scene. I'm assuming John Wick may or may not be alive at the end of that scene, or it's tied into something else. I'll watch the movie again when it comes out, and I might post an update on my community page or something if it changes that. But I genuinely liked it to death. I thought it was really sweet. It reminded me of a Breaking Bad death, and I think everyone who's seen both this and that will... You know what I'm talking about. It was sweet, poetic. I genuinely thought it worked. My only complaint with him even dying, because I love that they actually rose the stakes enough to kill John Wick in this movie, my only complaint would be that I wish there would be more John Wick movies. But as far as I'm aware, there is a John Wick 5. I don't know if that's going to be just following another character. Any of the characters they introduced in this movie could have had their own spin-off movies. So yeah, just make it about one of them. Wouldn't even complain a wick. Get it? It's a pun on John Wick. Other things in this movie. I was surprised Donnie Yen's character got to survive. They killed the concierge in the first 20 minutes. This movie just has a body count. It's good. It's so good. I don't know if I'm going to be in the minority of this opinion. I can't imagine I will be. I liked this movie. I liked that they killed John Wick. This movie has stakes. It's something Hollywood seems to have unlearned. That killing a character or making it so that a character can take genuine harm makes the enjoyment of the movie better. Take notes, other creators in Hollywood. Alright, spoiler section over. That's the end of the John Wick review. As I said, 9.5 or a 9 out of 10. I'm thinking 9.5. Genuinely love this movie. It's probably going to be my favorite of the year. I'm going to go deeper into the temple now, and we're going to see if I can find another advanced screening or new release down there. If you're looking for artifacts of your own, I've got some recent videos. I just put up a new Deadlands, so if a western with fantasy horror elements interests you, go check it out. There's a playlist. If you're more into movie reviews, I did one for Cocaine Bear and Ant-Man Quantumania, and before that a movie called Amsterdam, which absolutely no one saw but really sucked, and I really lay into that movie. So if that interests you, go check it out over there. Like and subscribe, because I review things pretty often, so if you liked this for some reason, go like. Alright, adios. I'll see y'all.